Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break. That didn't come out all that well. Let's try that again. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and welcome back to the CoffeeCast ProCast edition. I am going to be bringing you game number 2 between Millennium's Forge, who's spawning down on the lower left-hand side here on Cloud Kingdom. That is that 7 o'clock position. Forge is going to be our blue Terran player, who is currently down 0-1 in this best of 3 series. His opponent, spawning on the top right side, called the President Protoss, is going to be SKMC as a red player in that 2 o'clock position. MC finding a fairly nice timing in game number 1 with a decent a decent gateway army with a couple of Colossus mixed on in, and was able to push out across the map and take out the small bio army of Forge. It was actually a very nice timing. Forge didn't really have any counter to the Colossus at the time, had just gotten his had just gotten his ghost out onto the field and wasn't really prepared for a big engagement. In fact, both players were taken a little bit by surprise in that final engagement, as neither player's armies were really positioned for it all that well. But MC was able to come out victorious in that with a few extra force fields, and that's that's really all there is to say about game 1. There was no revolutionary gameplay. It was just kind of a little bit of an off timing by Forge. Opened up with quite a few Marauders and did a little bit of a poke up, did a little bit of drop play, but lost a couple of medevacs full of units that definitely hurt him in that mid-game push that MC won with. But other than that, everything was fairly standard. So I'm always interested to see in the game number 2 how the losing player reacts. A lot of the time in game number 2, the player who won the previous game will just kind of do the same thing before, because it worked then, you're up a game, may as well at that point. And the losing player a lot of time needs to adjust their strategy a little bit to try to figure out how to counter what their opponent did in the first game. So I'm curious to see how Forge reacts. And also another thing I'm curious about, is he going to try to blind counter, or is he going to go ahead and make sure to get good scouting off, maybe spend energy on a scan to see what exactly his opponent is doing. MC, I just want to point out real fast, is taking a second gas in his main base. Maybe a little bit of an indication that this will not be a one gate expand out of MC. I would not be surprised to see a robotics being dropped at some point as well, because on the other side of the map we have a very fast factory down on the field. So that was a 1 rack factory, very, very quick there, and no command center coming out for Forge quite yet. However, no second gas either, which I think is kind of interesting. Definitely interesting. So we do have the starport on the way. I'm wondering if we might be seeing Reactor Hellion drop right now, because there just really isn't any gas to do any sort of 1-1-1 play, and it does look like that is exactly what we are going to be seeing out of Forge. On the other side of the map, a little bit of interesting play out of MC as well. Going to be going ahead and doing a 1 gateway Stargate play. Very, very interesting. I would say actually even a little bit suave coming out of MC. I would love to see a couple of Phoenix come out of that. The Phoenix are great for scouting in the early game. Also, as far as MC has seen, if I can pull up his cam here, last he saw, there was a factory going down in the base of Forge, and he did see that there was no second gas. Probably knows that there are no cloaked banshees, but it never hurts to go ahead and get the Phoenix out to try to help counter that. Also, once again, the Phoenix going to be able to pick off medevacs very easily, which is what we are seeing coming out right here for Forge. A couple of Hellions are going across the map there. There's our famous Space Shark. I don't know why people love him so much, but he is kind of fun to watch. Hellions are pushing out across the map. That is going to be scouted by the Stalkers. So MC probably has a fairly good idea of what's going to be going on at this point in time. 4 Hellions are out on the field being picked up into that medevac, which is going to be going to the north side and dropping straight on down into that mineral line. Interesting that just now an expansion is being taken. That is fairly late for a PvT, but nothing too insane. It looks like there's very little defense actually back in the mineral line right now for MC. Oh, but the Phoenixes might be able to intercept the medevac that I lost track of somewhere along the way. There it is, dropping off into the main base, going to be able to pick off that medevac. So those units are not going to be getting out of the base, that's for certain. Actually picking up a couple of Hellions. I love that decision. So much firepower in the mineral line of MC now. running over here, picking up yet another Hellion. What a beautiful defense by MC. He is losing a few probes to those Hellions. I'm having troubles actually seeing how many are going down. It's a little bit difficult to tell, but I think, oh, I actually lost quite a few. Okay, let me rephrase that. The defense was going fairly well by MC. But it looks like Forge was finally able to get off a few good shots in that mineral line, and I think the surrounding with the probes really kind of did MC in. I'm surprised maybe he didn't have the minerals for a warpin at the time, but I feel like he lost a few more units than really he could have, really he should have, I suppose I should say. Over on the other side of the map, we do have Phoenix just flying into the base of Forge. MC is so far behind right now. He's just pushing out across the map with really most of what he has at this point in time. Vikings are going to be slowly picking off these Phoenixes. And Phoenix is not the greatest versus Vikings, but, you know, 1 versus 4, I think the Phoenixes definitely have that one taken care of. Picking off a Marine, going to be able to kill that off. Everything that MC can do right now going to be a big help, but I just don't see MC coming back at this point in time. There are 2 bunkers, 2 units apiece in those. Going to be very difficult to be able to take those out with the 3 ground units that he has sitting outside of Forge's base and 4 Phoenixes, and there's the GG by MC. Nothing left to do in this game. I mean, he just lost so many probes. Once again, 25 workers lost. Ran up, saw the defenses, saw the Vikings, saw the number of Marines. There was just nothing left that he could do. And that made for a very, very fast game number 2 going into Forge's favor. And that would confirm my theory that it is a best of 3. We are going on to a game number 3, and that is the last game in the series. If you have not already, subscribe here on YouTube. Also, you can go ahead and like me on Facebook by typing in Coffee Break and finding me. I'm the one with very few likes. Woo! And leave a comment below if you have anything you'd like to say about the game or any constructive criticism that you would like to leave. And I will be back with game number 3 in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away, folks. This is Coffee Break, signing out.